Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about why Microsoft, the company with the biggest operating system market share in the world, is considering dropping its pride and joy, Windows. Stay tuned to find out why in the world this massive company would consider dropping one of its biggest moneymakers. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe. The 5 seconds you put into clicking a few buttons will help me more than you could ever know. The first question any logical human would ask is, why are they getting rid of one of their largest sources of revenue? And my answer to you would be, they are getting rid of it, but they're not. Confused? Let me explain. The original version of Windows is old. It's almost 30 years old, which is older than a lot of people that watch my videos are. It appears through some evidence I have collected that they are trying to build a new version and plan to deprecate the old one. If you have seen this video, then you will understand what I'm about to say. But if you haven't, here's some brief insight. Or you could pause the video here and go watch it. It's on the top corner of the screen. To help you all understand codebases better, I brought in my friend who actually codes, so he can help you all understand codebases. So, what's a codebase?
A code base is kind of like a collection of source code that you can build a software. Usually, I guess, it has human written source files. Like, you don't usually see robots use them, and as you code them in this specific language, it generates them into binary.
Okay, thank you. So, let me explain. Programmers code in coding languages. It's basically just English put together in sequential order. Computers understand code in ones and zeros, otherwise known as binary code. Codebases are what translates the English version to binary. Codebase updates make it more stable and efficient, so it's really worth updating a codebase. Did you know that Windows code is 37 years old? That means that every time that the Windows team wants to make an update, they are sorting through 37 years of old, nasty, out-of-date code. Now that you understand how hard and confusing it would be for developers to constantly make changes to code that is ever-changing and growing, you might be able to see why Microsoft thinks Windows needs a bit of a rewrite. So let's sort through some of the evidence that I found that I believe will conclude that Microsoft is rewriting their code. Here's the first piece of proof. The Surface Duo is a 2-screen device, almost like a cross between an iPad and an iPhone, but it is made by Microsoft. And I want you to take a very close look at it. Do you see anything interesting about the software? If you guessed it already, you might be able to see where I'm going about this first piece of evidence. I'll give you a second to think. If you haven't come up with anything yet, then I'll just tell you. It runs on Android. Microsoft, a company that has the largest operating system in the world, decided to make a phone that runs on its competitor's operating system. Microsoft runs almost all of their technology on Windows. And the fact that they randomly decide to run their new good-looking phone on Android may be a sign that Microsoft is plainly not interested in their 37-year-old operating system. Now that's some evidence, but we need a little bit more to put a nail in the coffin. So here's the next piece of evidence that Microsoft is ditching Windows. People who code Windows 10 are already stressed out because it's so old and they have to consult old code to see what to do to change anything. Also, their other colleagues are being moved away from the Windows development team. That's pretty bad for their workers. They have to work harder to make updates, but also they have to do the same quality updates without as many employees? That's insanity! Now, where are these employees going, you ask? Well, they're going to the Microsoft Edge development team, which says a lot because Edge is freshly made, and also suspect is the fact that it's available on almost every platform. Windows, macOS, Linux, iOS, Android, and a lot of other platforms that didn't have it before. Why? I seriously think Microsoft is phasing out Windows. Well, that's a pretty good amount of evidence, but I still don't think that they're ditching such a massive moneymaker, so you say. We'll prepare for the ultimate piece of evidence that's pretty hard to deny. Windows 10X is Microsoft's newest child, isn't it cute? Remember the dual-screen devices from earlier? Microsoft announced another dual-screen device, the Surface Neo. Not only is this showing that Microsoft is moving to dual-screen devices, which is cool, But it also shows something you won't believe. Windows 10X is the software that it uses. Not Windows 10, not Android, but a new operating system. Now, you coders watching, you can all pretty much say that developing an operating system is super hard. For just dual-screen devices, I think not. Think about this. Making an operating system takes years for even massive corporations like Microsoft. So to build an entire operating system for just a certain set of devices would be a complete waste. I think that Windows 10X will come to dual-screen devices first as a test where they can smooth out the bugs, but I think that eventually they will push Windows 10X the same way they did Windows 10, which is shoving it down everyone's throat because they probably want to shrink the market share really low and then completely stop support. Some people say the grass is greener on the other side, but in this case, it is, for everyone. For the developers of Windows, they won't be stressed out and going nuts, but instead would be able to easily make updates. Which also means the consumer would get more updates, and the updates would also be of higher quality. Yes, it stinks to say goodbye to our 30-year-old friend, all the memories in it, but eventually you have to say goodbye to the past and go to the future. But don't worry yet, you've still got a few years before you have to say goodbye. If you enjoyed this video, take the 5 seconds to like, subscribe, and tap the bell. You literally taking 5 seconds out of your day can help me so much. So please, if you like my content, like and subscribe.